How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. I've been getting a lot of questions about why someone would choose NAT stock versus some of these other oil tanker stocks like STNG, like DHT, and there are just a lot of different tanker stocks out there. So I'm going to compare NAT to just DHT and STNG because those are two holdings that I have, and I can't compare them to every different oil tanker. But if you have a different holding that's an oil tanker, you can do this. I'm going to go over 3 reasons why someone would like NAT more than some of these other stocks, because there are reasons behind it. There aren't just people mindlessly putting money in NAT, which some people do that, but I'm going to go over the 3 reasons why someone would pick NAT over some of these other stocks. But before we get into it, I am very excited. We are at 849 subscribers at the time of shooting this video. It's about 11 o'clock on Wednesday night. So by the time you see this, we might be up closer to 900. And if I can't ask anything else of you, if you find any value in this video or you've watched any of my old videos and found value, please hit the subscribe button. I am so close to 1,000 subscribers. I can taste it. We've been growing by about 100 to 125 subscribers a day over the last 2 days. So that's just insane for me to even comprehend. But I think we can hit it by the weekend, if not earlier. So please be one of those subs that helps get me there. And for everyone else, thank you for subbing to the channel. So I will get right into it. No talk about Webull or anything else like that today. Just please hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it, guys. I've been getting so many people asking me about this topic, why someone would pick NAT over these other companies, and I'm just going to show a couple of the comments, and this isn't meant to be ragging on these people. Some people just generally don't know why someone would pick NAT versus some of these other oil tankers, because it is more expensive when you think about their price to earnings ratio. Let's look at this. Mask P. King said, only 50 cents above book value, with a bunch of question marks and exclamation points. You realize the rest of the sector trades well below book value. TNK/STNG 50%, EURN/DHT trade 15% under book value. Why would anyone pay a premium to buy NAT? The next comment is from Savvy Money Show. So why not DHT that have more VLLCs, which are double the capacity of a Suezmax and have less debt, or fro your nav? By the way, I have subbed. So thank you, Savvy Money Show. I appreciate the sub. Another one is Jesus, stop pumping NAT stock. Wow. So, everyone has their own way of verbalizing their opinions and their thoughts, but I have had countless people ask me this. This is just a few of the examples here, why someone would buy NAT versus these other stocks. And it's a very valid question. I've asked this of myself when I started researching these stocks too. And I think that there are really 3 different reasons. And please watch through to the end, because any of these points could really change your mind on the stock just in general. And if not, you can tell me below in the comment section and tell me why you will never invest in the stock or why you don't want to invest in it at this point. So the first reason is that NAT could just have a better balance sheet. So one thing that people and investors like to look at is called the quick ratio. And this is something that people use to analyze different stocks. It's the cash plus the marketable securities plus accounts receivable divided by current liabilities. So this is one way to value a balance sheet. And another way of valuing it is called a liquidity ratio, which can also just be used as short-term cash and short-term investments divided by current liabilities. So essentially one just has accounts receivable in it also, and one doesn't. So we're going to measure these 3 stocks and show their quick ratios and then also their liquidity ratio without those accounts receivable in there. So I made a little sheet here and did all the math ahead of time, but I'll just walk you through it here. So if we look at the quick ratios here, quick ratio is total cash plus total receivables divided by current liabilities. And for NAT, they have 64.4 million in short-term investments in cash, 32 million in total receivables, and they have total current liabilities of about 79 million. So that gives them a quick ratio of 1.23. Now looking at DHT, they're a little bit bigger. They have about 76 million in cash and short-term investments, 86 million in total receivables, but then their total current liabilities is 131 million, which gives them almost the exact same quick ratio as NAT. So they have a 1.23 quick ratio. Now looking at STNG, they are much larger than DHT or NAT. they have 120 million in cash, 150 million in total receivables, and then their current liabilities is 523 million. So this gives them a ratio of just 0.51. So they are a lot more leveraged than DHT and NAT, and that really shows on their balance sheet here. The other thing we can look at, like I said, is the liquidity ratio of just their cash and short-term investments divided by their total current liabilities. So if for some reason the companies couldn't pay them their receivables, or maybe they're delayed or something, that's also something to take into account, especially in today's day and age. NAT's cash divided by their total current liabilities gives them the ratio of 0.82, while it really stands out from DHT because DHT has a lot of their money in receivables and not in cash. So as we look here, their total receivables is actually higher than their cash. So their ratio is just 0.58 for liquidity. And then STNG is actually the lowest by far. So it has only 0.23 ratio there. So their cash divided by their total current liabilities, 0.23. So I'm not saying that this is the reason that people maybe are investing in NAT, but this is one thing to think about. When we are going through such a turbulent time like now, it's nice to have companies that have good balance sheets. And before we go any further, I want to say I am not a financial advisor, so do all your own research on this too. I am not the be-all and end-all, so do your own research, but this is what I found from these stocks. Now, the next reason that someone would want to invest in NAT versus STNG or DHT is because they think there might be a short squeeze. So if you don't know what a short squeeze is, I'm just going to read it off here. A short squeeze occurs when a stock or other asset jumps sharply higher, forcing traders who had bet that the price would fall to buy it in order to forestall any greater losses. Their scramble to buy only adds to the upward pressure on the stock price. So something that you can do in the stock market is short a stock. So if you think the value is going to go down, you can buy it from someone else, and then you can sell it and then buy back down when it goes lower. So that is something that people do often in the stock market. It's a lot riskier than just buying stocks. But one of our subscribers here showed me this website, shortsqueeze.com. If we look at NAT, there are 18 million shares that are shorted right now, which is a huge position. When you think that this is a company that is worth $600 million, for them to have 18 million shares that are shorted at their current stock price, that's a huge amount of shorts that are buying this. And what we can see here is versus DHT has short interest of about 12 million, which is significantly smaller than NAT. And then as we look at STNG, that only has 6 million. So these are larger companies that have significantly smaller positions that are shorted against them. So if for some reason the stock price goes up in NAT and all these short sellers are losing money and they have to start buying the stock again, that's going to cause an upward movement that will be huge. And that's what a lot of people have said on my channel before in the comments, that once that hits, it's going to skyrocket the price. So that is the second reason someone could be more interested in NAT, because they feel like as soon as it has some upward pressure on it, that it will just explode going upwards. So that is something that people take into account. Now, the next reason that someone could want to buy in the stock is because it is the spotlight stock. So this is what everyone thinks of when they think of tankers, at least the general market, the general investing market, because it's gotten so much media attention. If we look here, I think that there are two real ways that we can see how much pressure is being put on the stock and how much of a spotlight stock it is. And that is either by the price fluctuations, so good news comes in, how much does it go up? And then also by the volume that it's trading at. So if we look at NAT here, it went from about a $3.50 stock up to $9 just in a few days. So it shows $7.34 here, but it got up to $9. That is a huge movement. That's almost tripling the price just in a few weeks. Look at that compared to DHT around the same time. It did well too, but it went from about $6 up to $8.50. So a lot smaller price movement there. And that's the same thing with STNG. So if we look here at the 6-month chart, it went from about $17 up to $25. So not nearly the price fluctuation that NAT went with. And if we look at the volume, on the top day that NAT had, it had a volume of 111 million. So massive amounts of people buying and selling the stock. Now, if we look at it compared to DHT here, about 8 million, maybe 10 million. So a tenth of the people are buying and selling the stock. If we look here at STNG, they only had about 5 to 6 million people buying and selling the stock. So that is the third reason. Say NAT starts to go up a little bit, then the short sellers start to lose their money, so they have to start buying in. And then everyone that was okay with holding their short positions now has to buy back in because the price is being pushed up further by all those other short sellers buying back in. And then the retail investors start seeing that the stock price is going up massively. They're going to jump on because this is the stock to watch. And all this is happening, and it's going to happen very quick. A lot of people are saying they're going to be up like 20 or 30% in a few days. Some are saying it's going to triple. Some are saying it's going to quadruple. Some people are putting their life savings in this because of all these reasons. I don't think you should do that necessarily, but that is what we're looking at happening. Now, of course, it could go down over time because maybe people just keep on selling out of the stock and maybe people just don't have confidence in it. But remember, the Q2 earnings are going to be coming out at the same time as everyone else's Q2 earnings. When everyone else is bleeding money, they're going to be making money. So if retail investors start the trend upward and then the short sellers get in and more short sellers get in and then the retail investors start piling on more, I could see this going up to a significant amount above where it is now. And that's why I'm looking at buying more if it drops more. And while I'm still excited about Scorpio and DHT, don't get me wrong, these are still great stocks to hold right now. They're making massive amounts of money. But those are some of the reasons that people are more interested in NAT. And I hope that you can understand that. I just wanted to come with this video because so many people are asking me about it. It's interesting to have to retype the same idea over and over again. So I figured this might be helpful. I can refer people to this. So I appreciate you guys watching. Again, if you felt any value at all, please hit the subscribe button. It really means a lot to me, and I'm so close to 1,000. After I hit 1,000, I can try to get this monetized, and that would really help me out. So I appreciate it, guys. Let me know your thoughts below. Does this make sense to you? Did I represent it in a proper way? Or is there anything else that you can think of that would push the stock higher and why people would buy NAT instead of these other stocks? And let me know what you think below. I appreciate it, guys. Again, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.